What's going on, guys? We back in another video. One of the guys left a comment and he wanted to know if I could drop a full chest workout. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I went from having a bird chest to having a full armor plated chest to get that Greek god physique, that Greek god look. So when I started this journey, I first went from doing at-home workouts. My chest was homegrown, and then I took it to the gym. It became more advanced. So before we get to the gym and become advanced, I'm gonna start you off as a beginner with the basics, the same way I started. I started with 50 push-ups a day. Then I worked my way up to 100 push-ups. Then from there, I went to 200 push-ups a day. As you get stronger, you're gonna be able to do more. You'll be able to add weight. You'll be able to increase the amount of pressure you can basically put on your body, because you'll be able to be stronger in just lifting your body weight in general. It's a key to understand that there's different targets that you want to, basically attack in your chest. You got your outer chest, you got your inner chest, and then you got the fullness of it itself and your upper chest. Now, let's come down to the floor here, and I'll get you introduced to one of the exercises known as a standard push-up. If you're not used to a standard push-up, well, get ready, because you're gonna get used to it now. Standard push-up goes like this. It's shoulder width apart. You wanna be shoulder width apart. Arms lined up with shoulders. You wanna come down, you go down, you go up. That's one. You go down, you go up. That's two. You want to keep this same pace, the same momentum. What's most important about a standard push-up is the contraction, the full extend down and the full extend up. You don't want to do half push-ups like this, because you're not getting that full extension, right? So you want to make sure your arms come down to a 90-degree angle. Go up. I'll give you a look at how it looks from the side, because it's important that you have correct form. Now from the side, it should look just like this. Your body should be straight and back. Everything should be aligned. You don't want to be bent like this, and you don't want to be too arched like this, because when you're too arched like this, you're putting all the pressure on your shoulders. When you're too bent like this, you're not getting a full rep, and your waist should not be touching the ground before your chest even does. So you want to keep it just perfectly aligned and centered, just like this. That is a standard push-up. What I'd recommend for a beginner is to do 50 a day. If you're overweight, if you're too skinny, do 50 a day. You can do 5 sets of 10. That is a perfect rep range for you to start with. 5 sets of 10. Work your way up. Once you get to a point to where you can do more than 10 push-ups straight, and when you get to 15 to 20 to 25, that's when you can drop the amount of sets you do, but increase the reps. So for example, once you get to the point to where you can do 20 push-ups straight, now you can go to doing 100 a day. And you do 5 sets of 20, which is 100. When you get to the point where you can do 25, 30, well, now you can do 4 sets. You could do 4 sets of 25. So the amount of sets you do as a beginner, let it be dictated on how many push-ups you can do straight. So for example, if you can only do 5 push-ups, if you can only do 10 push-ups, well, that means you have to break it down into more sets. So for 5, that means you do the math. If we do 5 push-ups straight, right? And you burnt out, and that's all you can do, well, then you just have to break that down in multiple sets. Now we all know 5 times 10 is 50. So that means you have to do 10 sets of 5, if that's all you can do. But if you can do 10 push-ups straight, you only have to do 5 sets of 10. The more push-up range you can get to, the lower the sets, but the higher the reps. It's gonna give you the stress you need on your chest. So, now I taught you about the standard push-up. One thing to keep in mind is that the standard push-up, what it does for you is it not only works your front delts, right? Your front delts in your shoulder, but it also works the fullness in your chest. The next variation of push-ups, let's come a bit closer. Let's turn this way. The next variation of push-ups we have is gonna be the wide grip. So this right here is about shoulder length. But when you bring it out right here, this is wide grip. This is a bit past shoulder length. You see, this is the shoulder. This is the shoulder length. This is a bit past it, which is called a wide grip push-up. This is gonna help with the outer part of your with the outer part of your chest. It's gonna give you that broadness. So let's go ahead and do 5. Down, 1. Down, 2. I like to make sure my chest touch the ground. 3, 4. Another thing to note is that you don't want to have your arms like this. You don't want to do this because when you do this, you put too much stress on your shoulders. You want to tuck your arms in like this. You should be able to see the front part of your bicep facing forward. You don't want it to face the side. You want it to face forward. So instead of doing this, bring them in like that to where your elbows is tucked. So once your elbows is tucked, you go ahead and do your push-ups. You see the difference? You see the difference from this to this? It's a huge difference. And it puts more strain on your chest rather than your shoulders. And that's the wide grip. That's gonna give you that broadness. The next variation of push-ups, now mind you, the reps is the same. If you're doing 50, if you can only do 5, do 10 sets of 5. If you could do 10, do 5 sets of 10. If you can do 20, then do 5 sets of 20, and so forth. That's just assuming if you're doing, 50 push-ups a day or 100 push-ups a day. Now, if you know you can do 20 at a time, it doesn't make sense to do 50. Increase the amount of push-ups you're doing. So you can do 20 straight, then do the 100 a day. If you can get to 50 straight, now you're getting to the big leagues, which is like 200 a day, which is the point that I got myself to. I can do 50 straight, 70 straight. I even managed to get to 100 straight. If you want, I can show you a breakdown of that in a later video to show you that it is possible to do 100 push-ups straight. It just takes practice. Now, the close grip push-up is one of the favorites because it's gonna bring your chest out, and it's also gonna build that middle split in your chest. We like to call these diamonds. These are the old-fashioned push-ups right here. It's called diamonds. They call them diamonds because you want to make your hand take on the shape of a diamond. As you go down, you want to have your chest touch your hands and push up. Remember, hands shouldn't be out. They should be tucked in. You down, up. Squeeze, you want to squeeze, down, up. Get that squeeze. Same reps, same amount of sets. These are just different variations. You got your close grip. You got your shoulder length, which works your front delts and the fullness of your chest. Your wide grips, which works your back, which is a part of your traps. Also, the wideness of your chest. Then you got your diamonds, or if you can't make a diamond shape, do the close grip, which is about the same. The only difference is the angle, which is going to work your triceps, and it's also going to work the middle of your chest. Now that is the homemade push-up in which built my chest from being a bird chest to being a fully armor-plated chest. As long as you stick with this routine, the 3 different variations, as you become advanced, you can start having fun with it. You have exercises like the 1-arm push-up. For the 1-arm push-up, you want to put one arm behind your back, legs spread apart enough to balance yourself. You go down, up. That's 1. Go down, up. That's 2. That's a 1-arm push-up. You also have different ones you can have fun with, which is like the clap push-up. So where you go down, push up, clap. Smooth the mat a bit. You go down, push up, clap. Push up, clap. It gets fun. You can also do the shoulder taps. Right? So as you can see, these are more advanced push-ups, but for a beginner or even intermediate person, you want to start with the simple ones, which is your diamonds, which is your close grip, your shoulder length, and then your wide. Now we're going to move on to one of my favorite exercises, which allowed me to build the true definition in my chest. Now this exercise is what you will use once you get to the gym, and it is going to be called the cable wire exercise. What I love about the cable is it allows you to get that full stretch, that full contraction of your muscles. So as we move on from the mat, which is an exercise that you can do anywhere. You don't have to have a gym membership. You don't have to be experienced. You can do it at home, anytime, anywhere, any place. That is one of my favorite things about the push-ups. It doesn't cost you anything besides learning how to control your own body weight. That's about it. For this exercise, we have our cable wires. Our cable wires is important because it's going to give us that extra stretch in our chest that we need for it to really grow. It's going to be able to put the pressure on our chest that simple homemade push-ups won't be able to do. The push-ups is always going to be good for building the chest, which is going to build the foundation. It's going to be good for maintaining it. But if you want to really get that peak, I mean that shredded anime physique look, you have to do something that's a bit more advanced. So we're going to go with the pull downs first. And the pull downs is going to target our outer chest. So as you see, as you adjust your weight, you want to step forward a bit to where you have a bit of a stretch. You're going to feel the stretch all in your outer chest. You can do it here, but it won't be no stretch. So you want to take about one step forward and you want to pull down. Let it come up, let it feel the stretch, pull down. Now for everyone, it's going to be a bit different as how far you can stretch. It's going to be based on how flexible you are and how, basically your muscle fibers stretch in and out. For me, this is about as far as I can go before it becomes too uncomfortable. You don't want it to hurt because you don't want anything to snap. So you want to come down, you want to squeeze. This is going to really target your outer and some of your inner chest. As you stretch it, you're going to feel it in your outer chest. As you come in and squeeze, you're going to feel it in your upper. It's going to be a bit in your upper towards the middle part of your chest. These, I would say, stick between the 10 to 12 rep range. You want to really be pushing hard on the last 4 to 3 reps. Now, as you go with this exercise, what's important to note is that you want to make sure that you using enough weight to where you can feel it, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you're also having good contraction. You want to make sure that you're controlling the weight. You don't want to be throwing it, but you want to control the weight, right? Now for the next exercise, which is going to really target your inner chest, is going to be pull from side to side. So we're going to lower this down to about shoulder length. Let's lower it down. You can mainly find these machines in any of your local gyms, Planet Fitness, Crunch, so forth. So I believe we got them the right one. Yeah. 7. Okay. So as we lower it down, you see, you want to take a step forward. When you take a step forward, you're going to automatically feel the stretch in your chest. You want to pull them out and squeeze. As you squeeze, what's important for you to note is you're going to see all in your mid chest. That's what you want to really target. That's how you get those lines in between your chest. Pull out, come in, squeeze. Come out, squeeze. That's what you want. And that's going to get your chest to the next level. This is important to know because what really got my chest to the point it's at is the fact that I incorporated this into my exercise. Push-ups can only do but so much, and it can maintain what you've built, homemade. But this is gonna allow you to focus on the certain areas of your chest, inner, outer, upper. It's gonna allow you to really target those muscle fibers the way you wanna feel them. When I first started these, immediately the first day after this, I was sore in a way I've never been sore when I did push-ups before in my life. Now, that's your mid. Remember, 10 to 12 rep range, you wanna go for about 4 to 5 sets. Same thing with the push-ups. Stay consistent with this, and as you get stronger, it doesn't mean do more, it means increase the weight. You wanna progressively overload. As you get stronger, you increase the rate. Same reps, same sets. The last exercise is from the bottom, which is the pull-ups. So you wanna let it go all the way down to the floor. You wanna bring the weight, as you can see, we have the weight coming all the way down to the floor. Even on this side, bringing it all the way down to the floor, right? To where it's hanging just like this. Now for this one, the key to this one is about pulling up. You still want to take a step forward and you want to use that momentum you got. Pull up and squeeze. You want to pull up and squeeze, right? Pull up and squeeze. It's going to target all of your upper chest. As you can see how the upper chest looks as I pull up. That's what you want. That right there is what you want. That right there is what's gonna give you that look, which is gonna give you that full 3D effect. You want to target this. That's the upper part. That's the part you wanna target, right? All right there. That, you see that? That's what you wanna target. All that right there. You have your middle, which is your inner. That's gonna be the side by side. You see as I contract, as I squeeze, that's what that does. As I pull up, you see that? That's what that is hitting, all right here. And as you pull down, it's hitting all in your side. So, as you do these exercises, what you're gonna notice is you're gonna feel it in these certain areas that you target in ways that the push-ups can't quite get you there unless you add weight to your push-ups, which is like adding a book bag or adding, you know, some type of metal plate on top of your back. Stick with these, stick with the homemade push-ups, and you're gonna grow your chest exactly the way I grew mine. If you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, reach out to me, shoot a comment, I'll respond to you, I'll get back to you. If you have any other requests for any other workout videos, let me know down below. Give this video a like, a share, and also save it for later. So when you hit the gym or when you're at home and you're thinking, how can I get a bigger chest? This is the video for you. I'm gonna give acknowledgement to all the supporters, to all the people who've tagged along for this video. I want you to use this exercise, let it be incorporated into your training, and let's increase our level as far as our chest progression. Let's increase it to get the chest that we want. It's a new year, and this year I made it of my goal and my choice to go ahead and start promoting my exercises, you know, my lifestyle change, my diet, to give to you all who maybe need to get to a higher level, right? We're all trying to get to the top. And I want to give a thanks to y'all who are actually putting this step forward to get to the top. We're trying to put in the work to be a better man. It all starts when you decide that change needs to be begun. That's what's important. That's what matters to me, and that's what should also matter to you. So Be good to yourself and be good to good people. Stay working hard, stay disciplined, stay motivated, stay up, family. There's your chest workout. I'm out. All right, so now that we successfully learned how to do the cable wires, we're gonna move on to the last exercise, which is a bonus. This is one that I like to hit occasionally. My two favorites are the push-ups and the cable wires, but this is a bonus one. It's gonna be the incline dumbbell bench press. Now I'll set the camera over here and you get you a good view to be able to see exactly what this exercise does for your upper chest. Now, you wanna select a weight that you're comfortable with using. A weight in which you can successfully manage to get at least 10 reps in, all right? So for demonstration purposes, right here I have a 30-pound dumbbell with me. This was really gonna target your upper chest and a bit of your outer chest as well. This is a bonus. You wanna make sure that your bench, for starters, is in an incline position. So about right there is a good position to have your bench. It's a good angle. The importance of it is because if you have it up too much, you're gonna be targeting your shoulders. And if you have it down too much, then you're gonna be targeting your lower to mid chest. But for this purpose, we wanna target the upper chest, which is the muscle up here. We wanna target the upper chest, all of that right there. So that's why we have to have it in a certain degree angle. So we come down, legs apart, and we get ready to bench. However, you wanna make sure that your arms aren't out like this, because if you have your arms out like this and you push up, it can really put a strain on your shoulders and not so much on your chest. So you wanna bring your arms inwards. Remember, it's just like the push-ups. You wanna bring your arms inwards like this. You go up, squeeze at the top, come all the way down. Now, you want to be able to remember, another tip you can use is when you're in this position, right? I'll show you a side angle. In this position, you want to bring your chest out, which is to say, bring it up. Now, how it looks from the side will be a bit like this. It's where instead of laying flat on the bench, when you have the weight, you can lay your back flat on the bench to get a good rep. But for the extra strep purposes, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring our chest up. Bring it up to get a deeper stretch. You're gonna see a little arch in your back as you go up. So, it'll look something like this. You get ready to do it, you bring your chest out, push up. This is me laying flat, and this is me arched up. Chest arched up. It's gonna allow you to get a deeper stretch. And you wanna make sure you're squeezing at the top. Squeezing and letting it come and stretch at the top. Just like that. You wanna really control it. It's all about control. For this last exercise variation, it's gonna be a bit from the front. And what I mean by the front, I mean it's gonna really target that inner chest. For that dumbbell incline, right? As far as the sets go, I said earlier, you wanna make sure you're able to do at least 10 sets. Because what I've noticed in doing the reps is the part when I feel real exhaustion in my chest, when I'm lifting an appropriate weight to my strength level, is around 10 to 12 rep range. So you wanna make sure you can do at least 10 to 12 reps. If you can do at least 10 to 12 reps, that's gonna be perfect. And for that, I would say do maybe 4 to 5 sets. Now, you wanna make sure that while you're doing the reps, you don't want it to be too easy, too light. By the time you get to rep 6 or 7, you wanna be pushing hard. You wanna feel the burn. You wanna feel like you can barely squeeze out anymore. That's when you know it truly matters and it truly counts, because it's those last reps and what you push for as you're pushing up. It's those last ones, those ones where you feel like you can barely get it up. Those are the ones that matter the most, because those are the ones that push your body and your muscle fibers to really activate and to grow like they should. For this last one, we're gonna have one dumbbell to really target the middle chest, and we're gonna hold it. You can hold it like this with two hands. Go up, come down, squeeze all the way at the top. You're gonna see the line split in the middle of your chest as you squeeze. Up, come down, or what you can do is you hold it like this. Same thing, same thing. This is gonna do the same thing the diamond push-ups do. It's gonna target your triceps, but it's also mainly gonna target your inner chest. You wanna make sure you're squeezing and fully contracting. And for those, I would say the same thing. Make sure you're around the 10 to 12 rep range, barely pushing out those last 4 to 5 reps. Well, I'd say last 4 to 3 reps. And you wanna make sure if you're doing 10 to 12, you're doing at least 4 to 5 sets for each workout. Now, that right there was the chest workout, the full chest workout that got me from being a bird chest to looking like the full jacked armor plated chest. It's important to remember when you're building your chest, you don't want to just focus on this right here, because if you just focus on the bottom part, right, you're going to leave the sides and the top very unworked and flat, and you don't want that because it's going to look like you essentially have man boobs. You want to make sure that you're building the outer chest. That's important to build. You want to make sure that you're building the inner chest, all up there. That's important to build. The lower part is going to build naturally, right? But it's the outer and the inner that you have to put extra work in. So that's when the cable wires come in. You know, your pull downs. You also have your pull from the side to side, and you have your pull-ups. The pull downs target the outer a lot. The pull from side to side, it really gets the inner when you get that squeeze. And the pull-ups really targets that upper chest. As long as you stick with it as a beginner, start with the home push-ups. As you get more advanced, get up to the cable wires. If you stick with this for at least a month to 3 months, you're gonna see enormous gains in your chest. You don't need to watch all the gym rats and all the gym heads who are telling you to do all these different exercises and all these different variations. It gets a bit confusing. It gets, you know, all over the place. You wanna stay focused and locked in on 2 to 3 things. For your sake, it's the push-ups, the 3 different variations, your wide, your shoulder length, and your diamonds, which is a close grip, which is gonna target each section of your chest. You wanna stick with your cable wires as you get more advanced, which is your pull-ups, your pull-downs, and your pull from the side to side. That's gonna target each section of your chest. That's how I built my chest. That's how you'll build yours too.